Mikhail, taking a look at the large debris piles around the region from a little earlier this week, as today marks 2 months since Hurricane Helene hit the CSRA, and with Thanksgiving tomorrow, it's looking a bit different than in years past. Some families are happy to leave town and the mess, and some are staying here for the holiday. Your Hallie Turner joins us now, and you spoke with several families today about how they're balancing Hurricane Helene recovery and the start of the holiday season, with Thanksgiving being tomorrow. How are these families feeling?
You know, Courtney, it's the same message that I heard 2 months ago that I'm hearing today. They feel so extremely blessed to be here, to see another holiday season, to see Thanksgiving. I'm going to step out of the way and let you look. A lot of what people told me today was when they look at these debris piles, they're feeling the Lord's hedge of protection, whether that was they weren't at home and a tree didn't fall on their house, or a tree fell on their house when they weren't home, or they just were able to make it out of the storm with minimal damage. But the overall feeling that I'm hearing today is that they are just doing the best they can while feeling blessed and trying to adapt to their new normal this holiday season. Now, Ivan Bogla tells me there's truly no place like home for the holidays, but home looks a lot different for so many this year. As he looks around, he says he's felt a little bit of survivor's guilt. Even though his home didn't have damage on the inside, it was a different story on the outside for his neighborhood. And now, 60 days post-Hurricane Helene, he says everyone's trying to make the most of this restoration season.
They just started picking up debris about a week ago, and all the ladies and gentlemen that have come in from their houses, from out of town. The group we had in here was from Missouri. They worked their rear ends off. They were able to get all the debris up. The neighborhood looks a lot better. Now people are coming here to make repairs. We've seen a lot of workers in the neighborhood. So hopefully a year from now, everything will be pretty much back to normal, except for the landscape.
Now, coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're hearing from some of these neighbors on how they're best prepping for this holiday season and making the most out of their new normal.
Yeah, definitely a new normal. I was running some errands before I came in this morning, and neighborhoods looking just like the one you're in now. So thanks for that check-in, and we appreciate you this afternoon, Hallie. And if you cannot or do not feel like cooking for the holiday, we have a few places you can still pick up a holiday meal, with many restaurants offering dine-in or ready-to-go options for tomorrow. Fat Man's restaurant on Green Street is open from 10:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. S&S Cafeteria on Walton Way from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. And many of the Lifesaver locations are open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Make sure you check before you go, as some hours may vary because of the holiday. The Salvation Army will serve meals tomorrow at First Baptist Church on Chesterfield, that's in Aiken, from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. And the Salvation Army of Augusta will have its holiday meal at the Center of Hope on Green Street from 5:30 until 6 p.m. The Richmond County Coroner's Office has identified the victims of the latest deadly shootings in the county this morning: 49-year-old William Horn and 52-year-old Carol Horn. The sheriff's office says it arrived just after 2:30 at a home on Mystic Lane about the shooting. Officials arrested 46-year-old Tony Horn from Augusta at the scene. A witness says the victims and the suspect are related. The victims were married, and the husband's brother is being charged with murder. We'll keep you updated on this story. A temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah travel is kicking into high gear as people look to reach their destinations before tomorrow. The latest travel updates in just a moment, but first, let's check in with Mikhail.
Showers and storms as we do head towards tomorrow. We'll look at your forecast in more detail coming up next.
Time and temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
All right, thanks so much, Mikhail. The Great Thanksgiving Getaway is underway, with today being the busiest travel day before the holiday. Bradley Blackburn shows us what it looks like out there now.
By road, rail, or sky, Americans are heading to their Thanksgiving feast.
Good luck tomorrow. So far, it's been good. It's not bad at all.
I'm excited to see my family.
Some even dressed up for the occasion.
I figured if I did this, no one could frown at me, because you can't yell at an elf.
be out and out. Airlines expect their busiest travel day before the holiday today, with 2.9 million flyers. The FAA even opened up some express lanes typically reserved for the military along the east and Gulf coasts.
AAA is expecting record-setting travel volume this year for Thanksgiving by all modes of transportation.
Drivers are at least seeing some relief at the pump, finding gas prices about 19 cents lower than last year.
Actually, when I pulled in, I noticed how low it was.
Gas Buddy's tracking now 30 states with average gas prices below the $3 a gallon mark. That number could rise to 40 by the time Christmas rolls around.
AAA expects nearly 72 million to hit the roads. That's a record-setting number of drivers. Many are trying to enjoy that drive, taking in the scenery, keeping occupied, and having a little fun along the way.
These guys are very entertaining. They keep us laughing, right?
Listen to podcasts. We've got, Sirius Radio.
Get a book, old-fashioned book.
Travelers are also keeping an eye on the weather, hoping a storm moving across the country doesn't slow them down on either end of their journey. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And the toughest time for the drive probably this evening when travelers mix in with commuters coming to and from work, some of us after work, and of course those last-minute grocery shoppers. All right, keeping it moving here. The holidays are busy and exciting, but can sometimes be a bit overwhelming and dangerous for pets. Pet experts say the best thing you can do to keep your furry friends safe is to maintain a comfortable environment and keep them away from strangers if possible. And when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner, it's best to avoid feeding them table scraps.
Most pets are not used to eating table food. So anything that's high in fat, anything that contains bones, and then there's some specific toxicities, garlic, onion, grapes, chocolate that tend to be around the table at the holiday season.
Yeah, pet experts also say holiday lights that can be chewed on and open flames can be dangerous for animals as well, and advise taking the same precautions with a pet as you would with your child. Black Friday shopping is approaching very, very quickly. We have some advice on staying within your budget with this holiday shopping. That's all after the break.
I'm just thankful for the community of Augusta and Evans for coming together to support one another during the crises this year that we had. So I'm just thankful for safety as well.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
You want someone you can depend on, and I just think George Sink Injury Lawyers was the correct call for me.
And welcome back to First at 4. Black Friday is just about here. I feel like it starts earlier and earlier every year. Lots of sales and savings for your holiday shopping. Dawn G is here with advice for your Friday shopping frenzy.
Things change, right? The internet has changed shopping on every level. Family traditions can shift, and many American shoppers are just plain skeptical when it comes to those Black Friday deals.
About half of Americans find the Black Friday sales questionable, to say the least.
Claudia Phillips is a researcher alongside Market Watch Guide, a website that provides financial information, business news, analysis, and stock market data. Market Watch Guide's new 3,000-person proprietary survey investigates Americans' holiday spending habits and sentiments.
Americans believe that retailers are kind of marking up original prices so that those Black Friday deals look more attractive come the day of the shopping.
52% of Americans don't think retail holidays like Black Friday and Cyber Monday offer good discounts, despite 55% still planning to shop the sales.
And there's definitely a thrill of waiting in a long line at midnight or just participating in a huge, massive crowd, deal seeking.
Most Americans, 57%, admit they usually exceed their holiday budget, and 1 in 8 indicate they're still paying off 2023 holiday debt. Phillips says you have to be careful of all the ways you're lured into spending more cash. There's the doorbuster.
Doorbusters are sales that kind of create this idea of scarcity. There are very limited quantity items and they're significantly discounted. Basically, the idea is if you're in the door, you're bound to shop more. You may buy stuff you don't need or other things in the store.
There's the complicated pricing structure.
30% off $75 or more sale. Well, you're buying more things to reach that threshold that you may not need.
You don't get the deal until you spend enough. You end up chasing the deal. Then there's the bundle.
They can also offer bundled product deals where they're not actually providing real savings. You may end up spending more for an additional item that you don't necessarily need or is not on your shopping list.
Of the 12% of Americans still in debt from 2023 holiday shopping, 59% expect to take on additional debt this year. Phillips said, there's an easy way for all of us.
I'll make sure you have a very succinct plan. You've got your shopping list. You've got your budget down so there's no confusion when you're in that checkout line. It's all about keeping it in your budget.
Whether you believe or not in those Black Friday prices, you certainly believe in a deal. Track prices on products you'd like to purchase so you're aware of true price drops on Black Friday or Cyber Monday by using price tracking tools. A few of those tools are Join Honey, Slick Deals, or Camel, which is exclusively for Amazon. You can get alerts, price checking, or price drops. Helping you make ends meet, I'm Dawn G.
Thank you, Miss Dawn. And as my late mom used to say, you can only do what you can do, and that, my dear, Mikhail, is enough. Period.
Exactly.
We got a quick look at weather.
Yes, what a website name too. Camel.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Interesting. Rain possible tomorrow, likely, but we're looking at a drier Friday and much cooler as well. A big cool down for the weekend. We'll talk about it next.
We're starting a movement
Towards your Friday, and also looking at some mornings below for the weekend. We'll talk about it coming up.
All right, thank you, Mikhail. With less than 24 hours before Thanksgiving, families that are in need this year are receiving help from area nonprofit organizations. Your Sydney Hood checked in with the Golden Harvest Food Bank and the dedicated volunteers spending their time to help others.
For every charity that gives out a free meal on Thanksgiving, there are people who choose to spend the day with strangers who then quickly turn into family.
About 60 turkey breasts are cut and ready to feed families that come to the Master's Table Soup Kitchen on Thanksgiving. The hands doing the cutting are volunteers, like this group from the Richmond County Tax Commissioner's Office. Volunteers and donations are essential here, but after Hurricane Helene completely cleaned out the refrigerators at Golden Harvest, they knew it was going to be a challenge to make this meal happen. But a lot of determination helped them get food to the Master's Table Soup Kitchen to feed the community.
Thanksgiving is just one of those days that it's just about family, it's about companionship and fellowshipping, and so all holidays are very important, but this Thanksgiving is really special for us. We lost what we did, but we want the community to know that we are here, happy and ready to serve them for Thanksgiving Day.
For Golden Harvest, they are thankful to be here in the first place with fresh food. Now, how they managed to make this all happen on top of recovering from a hurricane, we'll have that coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
All right, thank you so much, Sydney. We appreciate you. Millions of Americans will spend a big portion of Thanksgiving Day in the kitchen. Safety experts say it's important to remember there is a major risk of a fire this time of year. Christine Lazar has tips on how to stay safe.
Earlier this year, dozens of people had to evacuate this apartment complex in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, after several units went up in flames. Authorities say the fire was started when a resident left food cooking on the stove unattended. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says of the 352,000 home fires every year, 45% are cooking related.
When are kitchen fires most prevalent?
They're really most prevalent right around Thanksgiving. That is the day that we see the most fires, about 1,400 on average.
Alexander Hohensarik is chair of the Consumer Product Safety Commission and says stove fires are often caused when grease ignites. This demonstration from the Orange County Fire Authority shows what can happen if you try to put it out with water.
When you put water in a grease fire, it will actually explode and blow up.
Chief Brian Fennessy says the best way to put it out is to cover it with a lid to kill the flame, or use a fire extinguisher.
If you've got a fire extinguisher available, know where it is, know that it's charged.
Deep frying a turkey is also popular this time of year, but can cause an explosion if oil spills out and ignites. Using a turkey that is not properly thawed is also dangerous.
I deep fry my turkey every year, but I also make sure that if I'm going to be frying, it's away from the house, not on a porch. Don't do it in a garage. Don't use a frozen turkey.
Sarek says no matter how you're cooking, the key is to pay attention.
It's really important to stay there, watch the pans, and make sure that there aren't little kids running around, somebody who's going to knock over a pan or knock over grease and just start a fire.
Some simple precautions can make sure your family remains safe this holiday. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, shifting gears here, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service is offering a $150,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and connection of two robbery suspects who robbed a letter carrier around 5 p.m. back on the 13th over on Jonathan Circle. The victim told Richmond County deputies he was delivering mail when two suspects robbed him at gunpoint and then ran in the direction of Marvin Griffin Road. If you know anything about this incident, please call the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. It's the season of giving back, and one local business is taking that to heart. Top Crab Seafood and Bar says they want to show their appreciation to the community for their support over the years. Starting at 11 this morning, they gave away bags of food for free. I'm assuming maybe seafood boils, my fave, corn and sausage, potatoes and eggs. This is the 4th year they've done this.
We were lined up all the way down to, I want to say, the old hibachi grill down there, if you're familiar with it. We went through, I want to say, at least 150 in less than 6 minutes.
Wow, they were out of food in about 35 minutes, as I can imagine, and gave away 200 bags, and they have the best carry-out bags ever. All right. The holidays look a little different for many of us this year after Hurricane Helene, but one-time honored tradition is still in our area despite the storm. Every year, the Optimist Club in North Augusta sells Christmas trees. The sale of the trees not only supports good causes locally, but you're helping support recovery in Western North Carolina as well. All of their trees from the area, as we spoke with the Optimist Club today, told us they sold about 40% of their biggest trees the first day.
They're all beautiful, but so we did have a lot of people turn out to buy those larger trees that first day, so that was great.
The proceeds from the trees go to things like scholarships and community events. And next week is the tree lighting season here in the CSRA. Johnston kicks off the lightings first on Monday from 5 until 7 in downtown Johnston's municipal parking lot. Tuesday is North Augusta's tree lighting at 5 Calhoun Park. You can get a break on Wednesday. Then Thursday in Evanstown Center Park at 6:30 is Columbia County's tree lighting, and the 36th annual Aiken County tree lighting is on Friday from 6 to 7:30 on Newberry Street. Hey, Mikkel.
We are tracking the threat for some storms as we head towards tomorrow. Definitely looking at maybe the chance for some wet weather for Thanksgiving. And we're also going to be hearing from some people around the region about what they're thankful for. So stick around to hear that.
We are very thankful that our home was okay, our community is okay, and everybody just got together and started to rebuild after Hurricane Helene.
Black Friday.
As more than 40,000 Georgians are set to
tomorrow. By Friday, the weather pattern is more settled. We're looking at 50s and also those mornings below freezing for the weekend.
Thank you, Mikkel. AAA says more than 40,000 Georgians are set to hit the roads this Thanksgiving. Looking at numbers over the years, the Georgia Department of Transportation specifically sees more crashes the Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving and more fatalities the Wednesday before and on Thanksgiving Day. One of those people, the victim of a deadly accident, includes the father of 12-year-old Braden Stevenson. Stevenson was killed when a car ran off the road and ran him over while he was in his closed garage. His father spoke about the pain of losing his son during the week of Thanksgiving.
Hit the floor. All I could do is cry out. All I could do is just do what I could to release the pain.
GDOT says people being in a hurry and being distracted is usually the cause of deadly accidents. So they are reminding everyone to focus on driving and to wear a seatbelt. A tough story to hear, but all the more reason to be vigilant and stay safe during holiday travel. All right, let's shift gears here. It is that time of year where you're worried if gifts will arrive on time for the holidays, but USPS says not to worry. They've made a number of upgrades to get your package where it needs to be on time. Sarah Hammonds reports.
The holiday shipping rush means thousands of packages getting sorted, shipped, and onto your doorstep. To make that happen, the U.S. Postal Service says they've made a number of upgrades nationwide. They've revitalized 83 sorting and delivery centers, implemented 500 new package sorting machines, and hiring 7,500 seasonal employees. On top of that, USPS says they're using new delivery vehicles, and they've expanded daily processing capacity to 60 million. And the nationwide upgrades come after the Palmetto Regional Processing and Distribution Center here in Metro Atlanta has been plagued with delays. Earlier this month, U.S. Senator John Ossoff questioned USPS Board of Governors nominees on the ongoing problems.
As of late spring, on-time delivery of first-class mail in North Georgia was at 36%. And as you all know, that means seniors aren't receiving their prescriptions. It means small businesses aren't receiving supplies and can't get products to market.
Meanwhile, UPS representatives like Eddie Tinsley at their store in Midtown says they are ready for the holiday shipping rush.
Especially being across from Georgia Tech on 10th Street, we look like we should get everyone, the students, the neighborhood, anyone just walking, anyone on the bus.
He says they expect their longest lines to start December 19th.
We have about 6 hands on. We have one extra. We'll have a few people in the lobby doing line busting just to speed up the whole process.
And take a look at your screen here. These are some important dates USPS wants you to remember. December 18th through the 21st.
All right, parents, if you use parental controls and screen limits to prevent your kids from using apps you don't approve of, I can guarantee you they're getting around those. JB Tucker, I'll explain coming up.
Get a great deal.
Welcome back. Parents who try to keep their kids from spending too much time on their phones rely on parental controls from both Apple and Android. But do they really work? Tech reporter Jamie Tucker shows us in today's What the Tech.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
If you Google parental controls or screen limits, you're going to find two things in the search results. Kids are searching for how to get around parental controls and screen limits, and parents are Googling, how are my kids getting around these screen limits?
How to get rid of screen time on your phone.
TikTok is filled with how-to videos to circumvent the controls parents set up, so don't think screen limits and parental controls are all you need to do. Say parents set screen limits for TikTok or Instagram, but once the time is up, kids can visit those websites in a browser to stay for as long as they want. They don't need the apps. And if they open the website in incognito mode, it won't limit the time they spend on those websites, and you won't be able to see what they're doing. Here's how to add another layer of protection. In screen time settings, tap Content and Privacy Restrictions. Set a passcode to allow changes, and then select Content Restrictions where you can block explicit music, books, and age-appropriate apps. To lock it down tighter, you can allow only certain websites to be accessed, and by doing this, it will prevent visiting any other websites, even in incognito mode. Many TikTokers have found little tricks to get around screen limits, and some of those tricks work. Bottom line is, if you have a child with a smartphone that they can use without supervision, they will find a way to go to those places you don't want them to go. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
And we're just 2 days away from our area high school football third round of playoffs. Sports director Alyssa Lyons introduces us to a team from Millen counting their blessings this Thanksgiving.
Most family and friends are gearing up to play a game of flag football this week. The Jenkins County War Eagles are gearing up to play in a Turkey Bowl 64 years in the making. That's how long it's been since the War Eagles have played this late in the postseason. but this is essentially their first quarterfinals appearance. Back in 1960, they only played 13 games to reach the state championship. The last 3 games consisted of a region playoff, 1 state playoff game, and the state final. Back then, Jenkins County was prepping for Patterson. 6 decades later, they're practicing for a matchup with Brooks County. While the year on the schedule has changed, just like your favorite corner store, some things haven't. Jenkins County was riding a 4-game win streak back in 1960. They'll enter Friday's game just the same.
It's special to be practicing on Thanksgiving, even though it's hectic. People want to go out of town and visit and all, but you know, it's been 64 years since a team in Millen was practicing on Thanksgiving Day. So I told them it could, you know, it's something that they need to cherish and really understand how far they've come and what it means.
This is their second 10-win season in program history. Since losing against Lincoln County in the second week of the season, the War Eagles defense has allowed only 12 points per game on average. Reporting in Jenkins County, Alyssa Lyons on your side.
Thank you, Alyssa, for that. We are looking at a big cool down as we head towards the weekend. 70s tomorrow, but 50s as we head through the weekend. We'll look at your forecast again coming up next.
Life in general, and all the family being healthy, being able to see them.
From our family to yours, happy Thanksgiving.
Join us right here on WR.
All right, so it's time to put Mikhail on the spot with Thanksgiving tomorrow. Soon the attention will focus on Christmas. As we told you earlier in the show, there will be some Christmas tree lightings pretty much each day next week. The ones you are seeing here are from North Augusta and Johnston last year. So the question for you, Mikhail, and they put me up to this, what are you looking forward to in December?
Well, 2 things.
What's that?
The first is next week, December 4th, is my Founders Day for Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Family.
I've been a part of it since 2016, so
We love
you know, definitely a big part of my life there, and very crucial in college. And then I'm 1 month closer to my birthday. My birthday is in January, so if we're in December, that means my birthday is closer.
Oh.
That's about it. Christmas, of course, but yeah, that's it.
Is that how they wanted to put you on the spot? I think you were well prepared.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, Founders Day and a birthday, that works.
That works right there.
Love it.
Inching closer, but the clouds are inching closer to us as we look at some changes on the way by tomorrow. 64.
Works.
That works right there.
Love it.
Inching closer, but the clouds are inching closer to us as we look at some changes on the way by tomorrow. 64 from Bushfield, maybe a peak of sunshine out there. South-southwest winds at about 5, but you can see our next rainmaker shaping up and moving across the country. So definitely some big changes after tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much, Mikhail. Stay close. Live at 5 with Meredith Anderson and more of Mikhail straight ahead. Have a good afternoon. Travel safe. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you soon.
The Emmy-nominated Late Show.